Welcome to part 4 of this 4-part series of Response 5. So happy to have you back here, and today we get to go inside the course and I get to show you around. So let's do a very quick recap before we get there. In part 1, we learned what Response 5 is. It's that neurological restoration, why it's so effective and how it differs from other therapies, how Response 5 is designed to get those quick results, and how your mindset is the number one thing that will change your dog's life. In part 2 of this series, we elaborated on what we learned in part 1, and we spoke about your dog's neurological system, what it is, why it's so important, and how Response 5 directly targets this system to make those profound changes in your dog's health. Part 3, we're going to talk about your fears of your dog's future and why they're understood here. Why Response 5 isn't about selling, but about offering, and of course, giving you a step 1 demonstration so that you can clearly see how easy this technique is and how it profoundly makes changes in your dog's neurological health. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel where you're watching all these videos. If you haven't caught part 1, 2, and 3, all the links are below for you. And now let's dive right in. Here we are at response5.com, and we'll just take you through. We have the student login, about, Q&A, course information, proof of the results. Of course, check those out. Amazing contact and YouTube videos. Make sure you watch all the YouTube videos that come your way. So I already have it set up, so we can go right into student login and into the course dashboard. First of all, I want to show you something really exciting, and that's on that corner top right, select language. Response 5 can be translated in practically every language on this planet, which is really super amazing because, as you know, this is an online course and can be seen and used and taught all over the world. So let's just click on the Greek. And there you go. So we are in the Greek language. How cool is that? So no matter where you are on this planet, Response 5 is accessible for you in your language. Okay, so let's get back into English. And I'll just refresh the page here. And we're at our student dashboard. We're at the course dashboard, my reference library, then we have steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all laid out for you, your profile, and of course your logout. What I want to show you here, which I think is really exciting, is that when you log in, you get an audio from me, a nice welcome. And then over to the right is get your 10-day formula to kickstart your dog's healing. Your email will be already sitting there. There's mine. And all you have to do is click subscribe. So simple. And you'll get kickstarted with some really nice detailed information that goes along with the course and that 10-day formula that's really going to kickstart your dog's healing. Then as we move down, we get into beginning Response 5. And this is a quick start video, which I love. It's just about 11 minutes long. And here you'll find a really nice overview of Response 5. So you don't have to get into the detailed steps right away. You can kind of sit back, relax, and see all of the detail that's happening. This is an unedited video, and it's somebody who's learning Response 5 for the very first time, so just like you. So her questions are very natural. The way I teach would be just like you were sitting in front of me, and we would be learning this all together. So that's really kind of exciting for sure. Then as we move through that quick start video, we get down into a more detailed learning, Response 5 deep learning sessions. So we get into sessions for step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're laid out very similarly, so it becomes a really nice pattern. So let's click into step 1. So Response 5, step 1, and this of course is where we always begin. And what I like is that you start with interesting tips and interesting facts. And these kind of build on throughout the 5 steps, so you learn more and more tips and facts as you go along. And with all 5 steps, you have why we begin and what effects it has, which is quite great to learn. And then off to that side is those step 1 slides. Let me go through it very quickly for you. So the step 1 slides are, again, see through all 5 steps, and it kind of just gives you that extra information as you're watching through the video, and some nice tips and facts as we move along. And then we get down to the videos, and each step again is broken down into 3 videos, and then there's this muscle anatomy bonus that's nice. People requested just to learn a little bit more. You don't need to, but it's always nice to have that extra anatomy sitting there for you. So there's these drop down boxes, 1, 2, 3. And so for video 1, of course, we're learning, you're demonstrating on that dog. You're learning to landmark exactly where your hands are going. We're learning on a dog, and of course that model dog, and on a pillow. In step 2, we're getting into more detail on how someone can support you, a little bit more detail on landmarking. Step 1 completed on a dog, and what not to do, and when you're first starting, and with Response 5. So you're getting to learn quite a bit on these videos for sure. Why dogs relax with Response 5, and again, it's that whole neurological system that's being addressed and really puts them into a nice relaxed mode. And then on the third video, there's no audio. It's in slow motion, which people absolutely love, and you get to go through all those nice step-by-step details in silence, in slow motion, and you're learning it each step how to do it with 2 hands, which you learned in that demonstration on the last part of this series, but also with 1 hand. So if you're working with a small dog, of course we have less space, so we're using just the 1 hand for that. So let's move into the reference library, which I think is a really great bonus for this course. And just to recap, this course is truly designed for families who are taking that extra step of healthcare for their dogs so that they can hone a skill to make those neurological changes. And I know I talk a lot about getting into chronic conditions such as degenerative myelopathy and paralysis and just that senior care, but it's also for people who are doing all kinds of agility work and boondocking, and they're out in the world traveling with their dogs. So this course really applies to just every piece of a dog's life, whether you're close to home to a vet or away and needing more health care, and on that spot skill for you to work with your dog. So many reasons to sign on for Response 5. So here in the reference library, just to get back to it, we have the origins of Response 5 and FAQs, which are always really nice to have. More learning videos. We'll get back to that in a minute. Assessing mobility issues. This is a really great piece. I love to teach you how to look at your dog, how to assess their mobility, so that you can have a really clear picture of how your dog's moving, why they're moving that way, and understand where they are compared to when you start Response 5 and where you end up with the results. And then we move into different ways to reuse Response 5. And of course, we begin with using Response 5 with that 10-day formula, which is awesome. What to expect with your first session with your dog. And then there's 2 added really amazing bonuses. And it's your free Response 5 certification. And that's if you want to take your dog as a case study. And then add 2 more case studies, could be your friend's dogs, whichever, submit those to me, and then I have this amazing added bonus to share with you that adds on to the Response 5 learning. Plus, it just qualifies you to become more active in your community, and you receive a certification of Response 5 from me. So that's a really nice free bonus. Actually, let's just check in there for a second. So within that free bonus, you get a really clear outline of how to accomplish this. So begin your Response 5 certification by reviewing these case studies information, signing that notification of personal duties. These are all printable for you to do your case study, so it makes it super, super easy. Consent form, and then your case study form, which is really a detailed, actually let's click into that. So again, it just has you going through all the case studies and writing it all out for you. So it makes it really super, super easy to document. Okay, let's go back out of that. And we'll return back to the reference library. And then many people also sign on to Response5 to further their studies by handing in the 3 case studies from free Response5 certification and moving on to being an Animal Bowen Therapy practitioner, which is another fabulous piece of learning with all of this. So then there again is your reference library. And I wanted to dive into more learning videos just so you realize that this course just keeps on going with amazing information. And this course is sitting here for you all the time. There's no deadline. You can refer back to it as many times as you want. It's sitting there for you to learn. So we have our light touch video, teaches you how to do the moves, the steps properly, and how to use that light touch. And then we move into a video that's for any condition. And the beauty and ease of Response5 is that the formula never changes. It's always step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Super simple, right? Response5 takes care of all the system and cells in the body. So each step on its own has a healing purpose and does its own job. However, it's the power of putting all those 5 steps together that makes that change. So whether we're dealing with a digestive issue, a bladder issue, kidney issue, whether we're dealing with a dog that's just being lethargic, arthritis, paralysis, any form of spinal cord injuries, spondylosis, which is a fusing of the spine, degenerative myelopathy, because we're working all the system all at once, we never need to change the formula. Even if it's a knee injury, we're still using Response5 in the same format. Makes it pretty amazing. And then we're diving into a bigger, deeper explanation of the purpose of each step. And then, of course, I get a lot of people asking me, what do I do? My dog's wiggly. It just doesn't want to sit and settle, which is common when they're first learning. And so I do a whole demonstration on my wiggly, very wiggly dog, Boo Boo, just to give you an overview. Now that we're back in the dashboard, you see this is where it all begins, and clicking on to that 10-day formula to kickstart your dog's healing. I'm so honored to have you here and have you sign up and join our team. And as I have expressed, we've had people in 20 different countries so far. Thousands of families have been helped. It's a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step technique that is going to change your world and your dog's world as well. Because when you hone the skill, you know you have the tools to help your dog. And when you have the tools to help your dog is living its best life. This Response5 series is all about giving you peace of mind. I thank you for allowing me into your life, and I'll see you in the Response5 course.